You know, I've been thinking a lot about what seems to be the most number of questions that I get. What are people the most concerned about? And I'd say 60 or 70% of the questions are not what to do about something that they want to try to accomplish. It's more about how to solve some kind of a problem. And I had a situation come up in training this week that made it really clear to me how to deal with that. Whether it's a mouth problem, the dog won't let go of the bird, won't get in the water, won't stop on the whistle, has no goes, won't cast. I mean, it's an endless sequence of problems that people get for one reason or another. And I've alluded to the answer a few times, but I want to make it really clear, and it's the same answer is true for every one of the problems. It can all be traced back to something that wasn't done completely at some earlier point. So here you have a situation where you're doing a down the shore mark and the dog needs to have some education on how to do it. So the dog cuts into the bank early, the handler toots the whistle, the dog doesn't stop exactly right. Finally gets it stopped, and now it needs a cast to take it to the bird. Dog doesn't take that cast. So here you are, you have a dog that's trying to learn a concept. To learn it, you need to have a couple of skills. They have to stop on the whistle and they have to take a cast. But the dog doesn't stop cleanly and doesn't cast very well. So now you're working on a down the shore mark with a dog that doesn't stop well and can't cast well. So it's very hard to teach that kind of a problem. Or you are sending a dog for a blind, you send him and he's lined up right, and you send him and he goes over there. So what are you going to say? He hasn't learned to take a good initial line. So every one of these things can trace back further and further till the dog either wasn't taught to fetch properly, he wasn't taught that he has to go to a pile. When you say go, he's got to go. He doesn't stop cleanly on the whistle. There's always something that crops up that leads back to some other issue that wasn't attended to correctly. So the pill that you want to take that makes it so a dog sit, so the dog is makes this correction automatically. It's like a fat person taking a diet pill that actually works. And we know that there's no pill like that. The pill is not going to work very well compared to exercise and eating properly. So we need to, when we recognize an issue, the dog makes a mistake, rather than try to fix that mistake in a routine way as you're going through your training day, you stop and say, why is the dog not stopping? Well, he hasn't been taught well enough, so we have to go back to the original day that we were teaching stopping on the whistle and do it enough so that that is a conditioned response, not something a dog is making a decision on as you're going into training. So that's the lesson. Whatever problem you're having, don't try to solve it in the field. Go back to why that problem is occurring. See if you can dig back into your training and see which element wasn't really finished. What part of training wasn't finished well enough so that you can count on it. If a dog is trying to do a down the shore mark, you want tweet, a nice crisp stop, a perfect cast, the dog swims over there and gets his lesson. As opposed to now you're working on 3 or 4 things because the dog's not solid on anything. You see it all the time. A dog is in over his head because all of the preliminary steps aren't solid. So that's the key secret to training, is to make each step solid so that when you come to an issue, you can trace it back. Whoops, I didn't do this well enough. So if you're watching this anywhere except on my blog, please go to the blog, and again, please leave comments. I'm grateful for the comments you get, and there's been a lot of them lately, and I really appreciate it. So have a great day, and see you next time.